So first question, why are you on the NCAA's Leadership Advisory Board?
Well, I guess first and foremost because Miles was kind enough to invite me. But having been a Division II athlete in college football and having been involved with College World Series now for going on 20 years, I actually think that 50% of my education was athletics in college, and the other 50% was the formal classroom. And so anything I can do to be involved with student athletes is a pleasure from my perspective.
Talk a little bit about your experience at Nebraska Omaha. Being a student athlete, was it just one of the greatest times of your life?
It really was. Probably a third of my best friends today are still athletes that I competed with, both against and with in college. I was not a particularly good athlete, but what you learn is that when you work harder, you get better. And frankly, that's what business is all about: is taking a challenge and figuring it out and working at it. And so that to me is one of the real gifts I got, in addition to getting to compete in football.
So what is the Leadership Advisory Board try and achieve?
Well, I think it's important that the association's a complicated organism. It's basically run by 900 university presidents, and that's a complicated association. And I think what the Leadership Advisory Board tries to bring to Miles is a little different perspective, a perspective maybe of some former athletes, some business people, to both be a sounding board and maybe a little bit of an advisory board of some of the practicalities of the needs of student athletes and how those needs change over time.
Now, you're quite involved with the College World Series. Can you tell us a little bit about what happens in Omaha each year?
Well, the College World Series has been in Omaha since 1958, and I think it's one of the premier amateur sporting events in the world because it brings these 8 teams, and I think Division I baseball is still one of the truly amateur sports where families participate, if you will, in the whole event. And so every June it comes together. It's been there 58 years. We're hoping to see it there for a much longer period, and the whole community embraces it. It is, I can't tell you how many friends I have that take their vacation during that period to go to some of the games, but also just be involved in the festivities throughout the community, embrace the teams that are coming in, and just be involved.
Now, you're CEO of a major company. How do you find time for the NCAA?
Well, there's always time to do the things that you're passionate about, and student athletes is something that I benefited from. I enjoy seeing the student athletes today get opportunities, and frankly, as a business person, we look very much at the resume. If we see someone who is competitive with some other people we might employ, but they have been a student athlete, they move up because they know what teamwork's about, they know what hard work's about, perseverance, getting knocked down and getting back up. And so part of it is just passion from my own experiences, and the other is practical, that we try to hire as many student athletes as we can.
What types of conversations have been happening in the Leadership Advisory Board meeting?
Well, the great thing about Miles Brand, by the way, as president of the NCAA, is that he is focused almost exclusively on the student athlete experience and the student athletes, the recognition that 99 point some percentage will end up being professional in something other than professional sports. And that's probably the bulk of what we talk about, is how do we make sure that student athletes, even before they get to college, are prepared for that college experience, take it seriously, understand the benefits of the opportunity of education. That's the overwhelming percentage of what we discuss.